everything's out of control, debt's out of control. Nothing in that story is going to change.
Hello?
Ziplok Trump?
Is this Ziplok?
Yes, yes.
Hey man, how you doing? It's Harry from the tab.
Great, how you doing?
Yeah, good thanks. How have you been?
Yes, I'm doing great.
How's everything been since the election?
Oh man, I've never felt better. It feels like Brexit in America.
That's very exciting stuff. And what are you up to at the moment?
Oh man, I'm just working. I'm always working. Social media manager.
Oh yeah, what are you working on at the moment?
So many things. I got things on every burner. I got videos uploading. I got posts going. I got Twitter going. I got the damn other people's pages going on the other browser.
Nice, excellent stuff. We are looking to interview a few high-profile Trump supporters about the media and claims that have been going on in them over the course of this election. Does that sound good? Can I ask you just to rattle off a few questions?
Yeah, most definitely.
Excellent. We've seen a load of different conspiracies and claims and stories in the media that have been fiercely debated. And I would like to start with a sentence kind of comment on sort of 20 of the different kind of claims that have come out, ranging from Pizzagate to climate change. So I'm just going to start actually with the most recent one.
Yes.
What do you think about Pizzagate? Is it real? Is it what's happening? What are your thoughts on it? And just a few words.
It's just another one of the distractions that's built up. It's something that's been building, to take a little bit of pressure off of the actual amazing loss. They had that. It's a big, big loss. And a lot of people are feeling despaired right now. So Pizzagate is like a mascot right now. It's just walking around and waving at people so they can laugh a little bit.
Yeah, it is real, Pizzagate.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and
then it's real as in it's as real as a Trump protester live at the event. Yeah, it's like a Trump protester. It's just George Soros funded, another George Soros production.
Yeah. And then how about came out in the Podesta emails the satanic dinners that Hillary Clinton was holding? What do you think about those?
Probably made up by the media. Probably another lure. Just another lure. You're just seeing what you're seeing on the outside is a bunch of interior media wars. The media companies just did giant what do you call it? Like the media companies, all of them were just fighting for a destinational top spot in cable news broadcasting. So all you were just seeing was CNN brought the rapes, Fox brought the emails, NBC brings celebrities that tell you who to do and what to do. ABC brings the celebrities that they pay the most. Everybody just brings who they can to the table to just try to dispute the other side.
Yeah. And did they actually happen, the satanic dinners, do you think?
Probably nothing bad happened the whole entire time, minus the fact that Hillary Clinton is guaranteed in the circle of Benghazi happenings. She had something to do with it, but whether or not those emails and the chain of emails and the words on the emails were true or false, no one will ever know because everybody that's attached to those emails is denying all knowledge of them. And if you really look closely, a lot of the emails almost look perfectly made for somebody who would be slanderizing somebody else.
Yeah. Okay, nice one. And how about the claim that was made about Obama not being born in America? What do you think about that? His birth certificate.
Well, I follow sports myself. I've been following sports since I was born. I met Irving Fryer in person, a black man. He's a black man, an NFL wide receiver. I'm a white man in America. They got us all labeled. So I met a lot of prominent athletes in my day, and I did research on them and read books and biographies. And I read Michael Jordan's biography and I read Shaquille O'Neal's biography. I know where Shaquille O'Neal was born in Louisiana from a military family. And I know all the details about all the sports players and stuff. So when Obama had first been voted in the Senate and John Kerry was the person who introduced him, I red flagged the whole situation as John Kerry. John Kerry's a walking red flag. So if he had Obama open up his DNC convention, it was already a red flag before it began. And then, I have the newspaper clipping from when Obama got voted in the Senate, and I have the newspaper from when Obama was being brought up as a suspect person to be voted in the Senate, and how the liberal newspapers in St. Petersburg, Florida, were pumping him because he's an African American born citizen. And that was where I red flagged it because I had never heard of any politician named Barack Obama in my life. And it was just moments after 9/11 fiasco, Hussein, Bin Laden, everything was going on. And then his name fit into the mix perfect, just like a Podesta email that tells you exactly what Clinton's doing and wording it out absolutely perfect. There's a catch-22 to Barack Obama. And that's the fact that he doesn't have an American name, as does every single player in NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL. There's not one player that sounds like a foreign-born name that has anything to do with the Muslim religion, minus Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Muhammad Ali. But they're Cassius Clay, Chris Jackson, and somebody else. And they went to Arizona College, and I know every little detail about them because they're all sports athletes who have diagrammed careers that kids can read about that are as low as 3 years old, like me, who collected baseball cards when I was 3 years old and read everything because I was an extra good reader. So I could read where people were born. So I was wondering where Barack Obama was born myself before he ever even got in the Senate or got announced as the Senate leader because of John Kerry. John Kerry is one of my uncle's adversaries in the Massachusetts court system. My uncle was a 40-year police officer in the Lowell Police Department and went into court for a good year or two battling John Kerry in federal cases in Massachusetts state courts. And my uncle protected innocent lives, and John Kerry protected criminals. He's a criminal defender. So John Kerry, who's a criminal defender, is used to blocking illegitimate causes and helping people who don't need help. So he's definitely perfect for government, and what he's doing around the world right now is a complete joke.
Yeah. And then moving on to the next one. What do you think about the claims of election rigging? Do you think that there was any rigging going on this election?
Every election in America is rigged based on one fact. There's only two parties to choose from. That's rigged.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you think about the claim that was said by Trump earlier this year and also Jill Stein that vaccines can possibly cause autism?
Well, first of all, the only thing Jill's right about is that the election's rigged, but we already said that before. But for her to come at this election saying it's rigged afterwards, I find that she's an opportunist and took money where it was able to be taken. She took more money. She took more money to fix the rigged election than the Trump campaign was able to raise for the vets. And she wasted the money on voting, which everybody should know that you only have a Republican or a Democrat to choose for. Therefore, it's rigged because a lot of people like 3 or 4 different choices to things, or 5 or 10. So it's rigged in the matter of the fact of the matter, not because Trump said it or because I'm a Trump team member or anything. If you ask me when Al Gore lost to Bush, but then he won, but then he lost again, that was rigged. When you seen Clinton beat Bush, that was rigged. When you seen Bush beat Dukakis, that was rigged. Because why would the media, who's liberal, make Dukakis look foolish on television? Because they were extending Ronald Reagan's career because Ronald Reagan had the media paid off. So that way Bush could continue his legacy.
So what do you think about the claimed that vaccines can cause autism.
The vaccines, what?
The vaccines, like vaccinations.
Yeah, vaccinations are terrible because there's no way a human could get themselves checked by themselves until that toilet comes out that does it for you. So we always have to take the doctor's advice. You go to the doctor, you get a shot. They leave, they come back and tell you what they feel. They could say anything, the opposite. We've got people in America that have gotten amputations that didn't deserve them. We've had people put to sleep to death because they were the wrong patient. So the hospital isn't always flawless, and they don't make 1,000,000% of the correct choices. So to get so much of everybody's hearts contained into a social media system, that's a complete joke on its own.
Yeah. And then what do you think about Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer?
As a what?
Ted Cruz, the Zodiac killer?
What about it? His what?
Do you think that he is the Zodiac killer?
Whose killer? Whose killer is he supposed to be? I didn't.
You know Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. He was running to be the Republican presidential nominee. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Jeb Bush.
Oh no! What he did, what Ted Cruz did was, see, you got to understand, Trump doesn't appeal to Republicans. He's not even a Republican. Yeah. He's not even the appeal of Republicans. He's the appeal of the independents. And so what ended up happening was Cruz was the appeal of the Republicans. Real Republicans love Ted Cruz. He's a very loved man in the real Republican Party, in the dying old Stone Age Republican Party, and true conservative Republicans like Cruz. He's a good guy. But at the end of the day, he didn't try to ruin the Republican Party. I actually think it was a black flag operation to bring more media to the Republican Party.
Yeah. And do you think Clinton staffers have been killed by Hillary?
Clinton's what has been killed?
Do you think people who worked in the DNC have been murdered by Hillary Clinton?
Oh, not her directly, but I'm sure some thug was hired that either she knows about or doesn't. But Vince Foster, he was murdered because of Clinton. Many others have. The kids in Arkansas, just many people. I can't even name them all. Dan Lasseter is another one. There's so much claim to there's so many murders that have happened during the Clintons' campaigns and life, and in the middle of them being president. And I mean, you could just go over to just blaming all kinds of stuff on them. I blame 911 on the Clintons personally.
What, 9/11?
Yeah, I say 9/11 is the Clintons because technically that they're the root of it. If you really look at when was the World Trade Center first ever infiltrated, it was during Clinton's presidency. He allowed them to get inside and get bombs in there because he didn't have enough security going. So he stepped up the police state because of that matter right there. That one bombing brought in all those police to New York that got them ready for 911. And basically, he got every single cop on their duty for 911. So when it happened, it was going to actually be patrolled well by everybody. Because they already had the pilots training during his presidency, and they were making all these types of weird illegal moves that everybody blamed George Bush on, but they only had 10 months to make all of their action. And it makes no sense that they didn't even know if George Bush would be voted in or not. So they weren't just doing it to Bush, as the whole public always says, doing it to Bush. They didn't do it to Bush, they did it to America.
And what do you think about what Trump said is that on the day of 9/11, Muslims were celebrating in New Jersey? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I totally agree because I've been to New Jersey and there's quite a gigantic inner city Muslim population there it might not be gigantic, but it's enough. And I'm sure on 911, plenty of Muslims that are all about Allah and Quran and Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda and all that good stuff. They got people who live here, and they were smiling and giggling and laughing. And I do believe he was actually making a sarcastic note on that, and that he was speaking of, the ones that were. And he was saying that they were jumping on buildings. Just like I said, like when I hit a home run, everybody in New Hampshire is jumping on buildings, but there was only like 8, 10, 20 people. But that's enough to say everybody. So he could have been speaking about as few as 5 people, and it would have meant everybody jumping on buildings would have applied in context.
And what do you think about claims that Vladimir Putin rigged the election to win it for Trump?
That's a slight impossibility based on the fact that she put far too much dirt of hers out. If that was the case, it'd be the same thing as Suge Knight hiring somebody to shoot Tupac and hit him in his head at the same time. It makes no sense. It's stupid.
It would be the same as hiring someone to shoot.
Suge Knight got shot in his head when Tupac got shot, so that X's him off as a suspect because nobody hires anybody to get killed and kills themselves while they're doing it. That's stupid. Yeah, he's not a jihadist. He's a stinking bodyguard from the middle of L.A. that runs gangs and stuff. And that's the same as Clinton. Clinton's the same as Suge Knight. She's a Suge Knight. So she couldn't have set up that thing to go wrong because she was in it giving her all. She was even dang near falling out while doing it. But she tried as hard as she could, and that's the damn truth about it. She wanted to win it, but the reason why she lost is obvious. She doesn't have enough people that voted. I actually think that they're lying about the total vote, no matter what. I think the vote count's rigged. I think Trump won the popular vote, and I think they're lying, and I think that it's all a lie, completely.
Do you think that there was illegal voting going on that day? Do you think illegal immigrants were voting?
Illegal. It doesn't even matter, even if they were write-ins. I don't even think that I don't even think there was any concern in anything. I think they just took a bunch of numbers in, and then they just moved a bunch of numbers around, and whoever the heck in each state had the most actual power was going to win that area no matter what. It's just like the crooked police. When a cop shoots somebody and they want that cop to get off the hook, they get them off the hook. That's not a big deal. When you're, yes.
In a word, yes or no, is Obama a Muslim?
Is Obama what?
A Muslim.
Obama's all religions.
Is he a Muslim, do you think?
Not only.
Sorry?
Not just a Muslim. He's a Muslim.
What do you mean?
He's a Muslim, a Christian, an atheist. He's a Scientologist. He's any effing religion that they make. He could be any religion you want him to be.
How does that work?
Because when he did his tour of the world, he went around every country and kissed their ass in a fashion like the America has never done before. So that means he can go in KFC and work, he can go in McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Burger King, and no matter what, that's the number one place to eat at. He's going to do the most promotion. He's going to cook the most pieces of food. He's going to serve the most customers he possibly can because he's an attention whore. So he'll be any religion, which means he's probably not religious, period. He just uses the religions to get people excited.
Yeah. What do you think about George Soros?
I think George Soros is an individual who enjoys causing problems with his enormous amount of wealth.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that, what do you think about the international Jewish conspiracy?
The international which conspiracy?
The international Jewish conspiracy.
Oh, well, that's for sure. Because it all goes back to every religion that we were just talking about. I mean, all the religions route down to the Fertile Crescent, which the Fertile Crescent is the area that all religions seem to base themselves in, minus maybe Mormonism and Scientology. New religions came out that are from other areas, but most religions are coming from there. So all the world problems are located right in that area. You got Iran, you got all the way going down to Israel, you got all the way down going to Egypt, you got all the way up going to Italy. It's all suspect. Everything from Italy to Egypt to dang near west over there to dang Saudi Arabia is all suspect. Those people are all trying to have the number one religion in the world. And Jerusalem's a place. Jesus is real. Iran has its own idea that they are the owners of that land, we're always going to have problems religiously worldwide. There's no way it'll ever go away because it roots in those religions.
Yeah. Do you think that, so, you know Alex Jones?
Yes.
On InfoWars?
A great announcer. I was on his show and on on election day.
He says that there is a international Jewish mafia running the world. Do you agree?
I mean, listen, there's a very good chance that he's right. But the big conjunction is, I don't believe the direction of it's correct. I don't think it's white supremacy in particular. I think it is 1%erism. Because every area in the world is not covered with white people. Duh. And if they really were, they would be nuking areas. Duh. So, like, white supremacy is a big conspiracy, if you ask me. There's just racist people that are poor. The extreme rich is not concerned with that. If they were, they would have finished it all off already.
Yeah. Okay, and then very quickly, a couple more.
Oh, was that a good? What was that? An amazing answer or what?
It's a very good answer. Do you think climate change is a hoax? Yes or no?
Well, I mean, like, you're asking all kinds of questions that have multiple answers.
Just can you say, is it possible to answer in a word, do you think?
In the context of the way that they're using it, it's not a hoax because it's a great fundraising program for something that actually happens scientifically that nobody who's man-made could control ever. And that their leads to why they have their donations is wrong totally. And man polluting and man doing things isn't speeding up the heating and cooling process of the entire planet at all. At all, because there's too much poverty in the world.
Yeah.
People aren't rich enough to have industries everywhere. There's large regions of the earth that don't have pollution coming up from them. So screw them and their dumb idea of having it. It's a horrible thought because it's something that you can get the Good Samaritan that's gullible to fall into easily. As long as it's a Good Samaritan that's not that smart, they're going to fall into donating to that cause because they're not educated enough to know that that's just science, not us. They're blaming people for it when it's not people. It's the world.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Really appreciate it.
Powerful answer, huh? That was a powerful answer, huh?
A very powerful answer. How would you like to be referred to? What's your full name?
My full name, you just call me Ziplok.
Just Ziplok. And how would you describe yourself? You've been supporting Trump for a while. You've done like a lot of high-profile stuff online for him. How would you like to be referred to?
Well, it all started back in the 80s. I was watching WrestleMania 4. And, I said, I had known who Donald Trump was because I already knew, when you're 4 years old and it's 1982 and somebody says, who's the richest man in the world? You just say Donald Trump. Donald Trump was branded as the richest man in the world from 1981 till now, but they just rebranded him as a celebrity guest host Kim Kardashian thing when he's not that. He's the richest man in the world that walks around trying to be popular. He has a reputation already. They just rebranded him. They've rebranded him 3 times. In the 80s, he was a playboy, real estate mogul. In the 90s, he was a divorced playboy real estate mogul. And then in the 2000, right after 911 hit, he was a celebrity game show host. See, so like nobody who voted knows who he is. To me, I call him the millionaire Donald Trump, because that's what they used to call him on the National Enquirer, and that's what I used to read in the grocery store off the side when I was standing next to my mom when I was 2 feet tall. Yeah.
Okay. Cheers, Ziplok. Well, thanks very much.
He's a heartbreaker. He always gets the good girls. Did he bang Brooke Shields? Did he bang Madonna? Who knows? But he probably had both of them. And did he bang so and so? Yes. Did he have this person? Yes. Did he have multiple affairs? Yes. And to me, that is, well, stimulating. I paid attention to him the whole entire time he's ever brought up. The whole time.
One super quick question. Do
Yeah.
you think the Earth is flat?
Do I think what?
The Earth is flat. The planet is flat.
Yeah, the planet's flat for sure.
You must be joking.
You said what?
Are you joking? You must be joking.
Listen, we're on a sphere. There's no doubt about that.
It's not. You think it's not fair? Or it is? It is or isn't?
Listen, there's sections of ground that are some 100 yards across. You can actually look, and it's flat. So it's a two-way question again. You're like the king of liberalisms. That's what liberals do. They ask questions that can nail you on the general response. But all your questions have multiple answers to them, and they're
Yeah,
all.
you're absolutely right. There's no one way to answer any of these things. I'm just curious. I'm just trying to.
Is that awesome? No, where are you from, dude?
I'm from London in the UK.
Oh, dude, I can hear it, man. I can hear it. I love it, dude. Yeah, you're killing it, dude. You got a show on YouTube or something?
No, we're just a website.
Oh, man, you need to drop a YouTube channel. You're not making money on the YouTube?
Not yet, no.
Man, dude, I'm telling you, listen. The one thing that caught me in the early 80s about Trump was, you know who Robin Leach is? Robin Leach? The lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that's where all the money is. You watch Robin Leach, you see every celebrity who has their thing. And if you watched all those, Trump had the best one. Trump's episode of Lifestyles and the Rich and Famous blew the rest of them away, and I've always known that since I was little and always wanted to work for him. He's the best person there is because he has the best class and the best taste. He put up the best buildings. He owns the best golf courses. It's ridiculous. I'm not even envious. I just want to do it myself.
Yeah. Well, thanks, dude. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, and dude, don't fall to the left on him, dude. Don't believe the hype. This man's all that, dude. You're a man. You can do it yourself. Like, don't be a liberal.
Yeah.
Don't be a liberal duck that just talks about how you got to help out people. You can't help out people without having a masses of wealth to begin with.
You're absolutely right. Thanks, dude.
Get rich, man.
All the best. Merry Christmas.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.